man who won the title for West Germany 4 years ago. And this was the man who finished second, Sebastian Coe. Here's the man now in lane 2, Ostrowski of Poland. Steve Cram, the current world #1 of Great Britain. Tom McKean, the Scottish record holder, running for Great Britain. Peter Braun, the West German #1, #2 in Europe this year. Rob Druppers, the top man from Holland, their record holder at 800 meters. Kalinkin of the Soviet Union. Right on the outside, Collard, the French record holder at 1,000 meters. The chanting beginning in the stadium. A really quite dramatic atmosphere. Sebastian Coe with the awkward draw here in lane #1. He can't afford to get closed down when they break from their lanes at the beginning of the back straight after the first bend. The 800-meter final underway, and Coe goes off as we expected fairly quickly to make sure of his position. Also going very, very fast is Peter Braun of West Germany. Braun has gone off very, very positively indeed. So are they going to make this a fast one and a true test, or will it turn into a tactical race? Cram in his familiar position at the back, keeping out of trouble. Coe is boxed, got in his worst place there. He's had to check back. And already the field strung out. There's some 10-12 meters. Braun leading. Druppers in second place. Collard is third. Kalinkin 4. Tom McKean got a knock there from Cram. And the British getting in each other's way. The muscular McKean goes through, though, into third place. Kalinkin follows him. Peter Braun approaching the bell. Leading for West Germany. Druppers second. McKean third. Collard 4. Kalinkin 5. Cram and Coe next to back. And the time fast inside 52. Oh, and they've got another knock then. Cram now has got out of trouble. Some bumping at the back. Still Braun leading. Druppers second. McKean third. Ostrowski 4. Collard 5. Cram making his move down the back straight. Coe goes through behind him. And Cram very, very wide. So too is Coe. And McKean bidding for gold. But there goes Cram on the outside with less than 200 left. And Coe follows. And McKean is fighting back. Britain 1, 2 and 3. Cram, McKean, and here comes Coe. A dramatic move on the outside by Sebastian Coe. Can this be his first title? Cram appears to be beaten, and Coe means to make this his. Sebastian Coe wins at last. McKean is second, Cram is third. Gold, silver, and bronze. And Coe has done what he's always wanted to do. He's won the major 800 title he wanted. 1:44.51, doesn't matter a bit. He got it right. They had a rough ride, the Britons, at the back for quite a long way. But Coe followed Cram and believed that over 2 laps he had the finishing speed to beat Cram, as he has done so often over 2 laps, by the way. But the question was whether Coe was fit enough, and he's proved it. Self-doubt is the enemy when you've been ill. But there was no self-doubt there. I think Cram will be absolutely, well, bottomed is the word the athletes use at a moment like this, because he's not only been beaten by Coe, he's also been beaten by this brilliant youngster, Tom McKean, who's developing as an international athlete all the time. So mature. And he almost got to Coe as well. What a race he ran. But meanwhile, Coe is doing something that only one other athlete has succeeded in doing in the stadium since these championships began, and that was Linford Christie, running a lap of honour. Because the West German officials have put a clamp on that, and as soon as athletes have finished, they've been ushered out of the stadium. But Coe celebrates in true style, and he's got something to celebrate about. He's had 2 Olympic silvers, he's had a European silver, he's had a European bronze at 800 meters, but now he's got the gold, and there's the man he had to beat, Tom McKean. The maturing young athlete who could be the next Coe or Cram.
Surely a prize most richly deserved. One can only feel a moment of sympathy for Stevie Cram, and if he just thinks back to what Sebastian Coe did picked himself up after defeat over 800 metres and went on to win the 1500 metres. We still have got another championship win in that. But this was a magnificent 1, 2, 3 for Great Britain, matching the 1, 2, 3 of the Italians over 10,000 metres.
They're already in position there, and this is where the strike and the attack begins. Cram has to go wide on the outside, and he's come very wide down the back straight, but Coe follows him. And there the strike starts.
Well, Sebastian Coe picked Cram as the winner there, and he followed him every foot of the way and decided that his finishing burst was stronger, and today it proved to be so. But what a remarkable piece of tactics from Sebastian Coe today. What a great run, and remarkably for me, what a great way to come back from an injury, and what a great way to finish his career at 800 metres, if that's the finish.
Why finish? And that, by the way, is the first time Britons have ever finished first, second and third in a European Championship race. What a collection he's got. 2 Olympic golds at 1500 metres, and in the European Championships he's got gold, 2 silvers, or is it, no, it's gold, silver and bronze. So he's got a full house.
I remember when he came off the track in Athens in 1982, and I spoke to him, and he said that I wouldn't ever win an 800 metres title because it seemed as though the gods were against him. But this has been the spur for Sebastian. I'm sure an 800 metres gold medal would be worth to him more than 2 1500 metre gold medals in other events.
They'll talk forever about the joy of that, a 1, 2, 3, the tactics over the last 200 metres, but I'll tell you what, hearts were in mouths over the early part of the race because there was bumping and barging, and there was an awful lot of contact between the British boys. No fault on any one side, but the strategy really was a worrying one at one stage. I thought they were going to be in trouble, David.
Couldn't agree with you more. Actually, it looked pretty ominous early on because there was one or 2 bangs at the back, and the British boys were getting in each other's way. In fact, we can have a look at the whole race again, and you'll see some of this happen. Away they go. Well, Sebastian Coe had that awkward inside draw. He had to make sure he didn't get shut off, but in fact he did get closed down completely. And when they break, you'll notice that he settles down in last position. Cram makes his usual almost lethargic start, but he tends to want to run even pace. Now you see Coe, he gets blocked off entirely. But he's been around long enough. He's the oldest athlete in the race by several years at 30. He settles in there, has to check back then behind Ostrovsky, and as Cram goes up on the outside, he's got Cram as the target. But McKean's in there, and Cram runs into the back of McKean. He just clipped his heels as the pace slowed, I think, very slightly. Then there was another scramble there. Kalinkin took a slight knock, and Cram's had to settle for next to last place there as a result of the bump. Now coming up is another bump in just a moment. McKean's got himself out of trouble. Cram's trying to get up there, and look, Kalinkin runs into the back of Collard, and then when the traffic jam occurs, Cram runs into somebody's back.
Well, at that moment, Tom McKean was the best poised Briton, and we later up, you know, he was ignoring Coe and Cram, but Coe had chosen Cram as his target, and coming up here behind him, he's tracked him every foot of the way. And when they start accelerating around the top bend, Seb increases his pace, leans on the German there to keep outside him, which he did really well. Or is it a Frenchman there on the outside? And Seb just sitting back in 3rd place there. Cram making his strike now, and that's his major kick at that point in the race. Tom McKean wasn't beaten by it, and there Seb comes with a brilliant finish. He's running on strongly at the end, he's running on all the way through. But medals to Coe and honours to McKean and Cram.
Well, there's little doubt that we can sit up with a bit of pride, not undue chauvinism, but 1, 2, 3 in what is one of the great events, the 800 metres. We are the envy of Europe, there is no doubt about that. And what's more, we've got just as much talent to come in the 1500 metres.
The 3 Britons together off the last bend. And at this moment, it's just a question of which medals they'll receive. Coe on the outside looks so determined. It's always a worry when you come back after illness. He's only had 2 races, but I talked to his father the other night, and he said he was quite satisfied that Sab had got it right. Cram at this stage can't find any way to get through. He's beaten in any case, and he's got to really be a spectator as the other two battle for gold and silver. And look at that. Coe realises his moment of glory at 800 metres has come at last, and he's got the gold medal that goes along with the world record. And he might get a lift from what's going to take place now. The fanfare sounds for the three British athletes who've taken gold, silver and bronze in the 800 metres. It's never happened in any European Championship event before for Great Britain.
Sir Arthur Gold,
The medals to be presented by Sir Arthur Gold, President of the European Amateur Athletics Federation, and that's the way they finished.
Europameister 1986.
European champion 1986.
Champion d'Europe
His
1986.
first ever major 800-meter
Sebastian
title.
Coe, Großbritannien.
Great Britain.
Grande-Bretagne.
1 Minute 44,50.
Sebastian Coe, the bronze in 78, the silver in 82, the champion in 86.
50 centièmes.
Zweiter.
Second.
Deuxième.
Stepping forward in a moment, a young man who may take one step higher in 4 years' time. Tom McKean, the Scot,
Great Britain.
who gets the silver and also sets a new Scottish record at 1:44.61. A great tribute to his coach, Tommy Boyle.
61 centièmes.
Dritter.
Third.
Troisième.
Steve Cram, Großbritannien.
And the bronze
1,44,8.
for Steve Cram.
Great Britain.
One of the rare occasions when the likeable Geordie has not been at the top of the rostrum.
1 minute 44 secondes.
They turn in a moment to see the three Union Jacks raised.